We all know how hard it is to keep up with the news. So much happening, so little time.
Right, you want the insights without the information overload.
Exactly. Well, we've got a big one for you today, something that's going to have a ripple effect across, well, pretty much everything you buy online in India. We're talking about delivery, the logistics giant going all in on Ecom Express.
Yeah, this isn't just some...
Right. And they're paying a pretty penny for it. The deal is an all-cash offer, capped at 1,407 crore. That's a lot of crores. Now, it's not a done deal just yet. They're expecting to wrap things up within 6 months from April 5th, but there are a few hoops to jump through first.
Of course. Regulatory approvals, that kind of thing. The Competition Commission of India, the CCI, they'll want to take a good look to make sure everything's above board.
Makes sense. They want to make sure no one's getting squeezed out unfairly. Once all that's sorted, Ecom Express will officially become a subsidiary of Delivery, part of the family, as they say.
Exactly. So you've got to wonder, why is Delivery making this move? What's the game plan here?
Well, their official statement talks about boosting their scale, their efficiency, basically being able to deliver things faster and further.
Which makes sense on the surface, but let's dig a bit deeper. Ecom Express, they're no small fry themselves. They've been around since 2012, based in Gurugram. And they've really carved out a niche for themselves in this whole tech-enabled logistics space. Yeah, they're what you call an end-to-end solution. Think of it like this. They handle everything. Picking up the package from the seller, that's the first mile, getting it sorted, moving it between hubs, the whole network operation. And then, of course, delivering it to your doorstep, that last mile. Plus, they handle returns, which, let's be honest, is a huge part of e-commerce these days.
Huge. And they've got the numbers to prove it. Nearly 2 billion shipments since they started. That's billion with a B.
Yeah.
And in the last financial year, they pulled in over 2,607 crore in revenue. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. But there's a bit of a twist in the story here. You see, Ecom Express, they were actually gearing up for their own initial public offering, an IPO. They were going to hit the stock market. But then they pumped the brakes.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Well, the business blog we mentioned, they did some digging, and it seems like Ecom Express might have hit a few bumps in the road, challenging market conditions, they called it, and some internal restructuring, including, some layoffs, unfortunately. Not exactly the kind of headlines you want right before an IPO.
So maybe this acquisition, it's not just about growth for Delivery. It might be about scooping up a valuable asset, maybe even at a bit of a discount, given the circumstances.
It's definitely a possibility. And it gives those early investors in Ecom Express, folks like Warburg Pincus, a way to cash out. They collectively owned over 80% of the company.
Wow, that's a big chunk. So what are the people actually running these companies saying about all this?
Well, Sahil Barua, he's the MD and CEO of Delivery. He was quoted saying that logistics is all about continuous improvement, which is a nice way of putting it. Basically, they need to keep getting better. And he thinks bringing Ecom Express on board with their network and their team, well, it gives them more firepower to invest, to innovate, to ultimately serve their customers better.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotta keep pushing forward in this business. Can't afford to stand still.
Exactly. And from the other side, K. Satyanarayana, one of the founders of Ecom Express, he actually said that Delivery is the ideal shareholder for them going forward. He thinks this deal is good for Ecom Express, good for businesses, good for the whole logistics industry in India.
So everyone's putting on a happy face. But let's be real. This is a major power play in the Indian logistics market. And with e-commerce growing like crazy, things are only going to get more competitive.
Oh, absolutely. This deal, it's a sign of things to come. We're going to see more consolidation, more companies joining forces, trying to get that edge. And you can bet that the big players, they're all watching this very closely.
This combined entity, the new Delivery with Ecom Express under its wing, they're going to have a massive network, a huge reach across the country. And that could translate into better service, maybe even lower prices for consumers in the long run. Or who knows, maybe it'll just mean bigger profits for them.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How will this shake up in the back end, the logistics? How will that affect the front end, the experience for you and me when we shop online?
That's something to think about. It's not just about packages moving from point A to point B. It's about the whole ecosystem. And this deal, it just might be the first domino to fall in a much bigger shift. So next time you click that Buy Now button, remember, there's a whole world of logistics happening behind the scenes, and it's getting more complex, more competitive, and, well, a lot more interesting by the day.
So what does this mean for the future? For the companies involved, for the millions of people who rely on e-commerce in India, that's something we'll all be watching closely in the months and years to come.
Definitely a lot to unpack there. Thanks for breaking it down with us today.